And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for being here. Some of y'all was here 10 minutes ago on my live stream that I was just going live, talking about offensive line and Zach Martin there. So if y'all coming directly over from there, gracias. We don't get much rest around here. Brian, shame me if we did.
Wow. Wait a minute. Did you were slumped back in your chair?
You had to tell them that. You had to tell people that.
Headset on. And I think, man, this guy is thinking right now, this old man's got me working on a Friday night.
No.
And he's got me doing 5 players tonight. And I just got done with a live stream.
And I had Bleacher Report before that, Bryan Broaddus. I ain't here to complain. You know what I'm saying? Because it's time to get some work in.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
Well, Brian, well, what you want me to say, Brian? You know what you want me to say? You know, the people,
all right, man. Hey,
the people.
All right, the order you like these guys.
Hell yeah.
The order you like these guys.
Start from least to best, Brian, because I'm curious about that.
The least. I'm going to say the old offensive lineman, and you didn't like that Florida offensive tackle, Brandon Crenshaw Dixon.
Okay.
I'm saying you didn't like him. I say you liked him the least.
Okay.
I'm going to say you probably weren't a fan of Savion Jones from LSU next.
Okay.
I'm going to say then you were not a fan of Jaylin Noel from Iowa State. And then I'm going to say you were becoming a fan of Antoine Powell-Ryland. And then the guy you liked the most was our guy, Braden Swinson from
LSU. Here's my lineup, Brian. This is interesting. Savion Jones was my 5th.
Okay, so I got that right then, right?
Yes, sir.
No, I didn't. Wait, I said the tackle.
No,
I said the Florida tackle.
Yeah.
I said the Florida tackle. Okay.
Savion Jones was my 5th.
Okay.
Antoine Powell-Ryland was 4.
Ooh.
Brandon Crenshaw Dixon was 3. But they were kind of close. Braden Swinson was 2. And Jaylin Noel, the wide receiver from Iowa State, was number 1 for me, bro.
Well, shoot me the rounds on all these cats.
I smell some disagreements, Brian.
Hell yeah, there can be some disagreements. And it ain't an LSU thing.
Yeah.
It ain't an LSU thing because I like Powell-Ryland from Virginia Tech.
Sure.
I do. I'm going to tell you, I put Swinson in the 3rd round.
Likewise. I got Swinson in the 3rd, and I got Noel.
Okay, so that means you put the receiver in the 3rd round too.
Yes, sir.
Or in that 3rd round mix.
Yes, sir. He's in the 3rd. He's in the 3rd for me. I got Crenshaw Dixon. Tackle. I got Crenshaw Dixon in the 4th.
Yeah.
Boom. And I have Savion. Savion was way down. I got Savion. I got a 5 on Savion. And Powell-Ryland, I think I got a 4th on Powell. Yes, I got a 4th on Powell-Ryland. Yes, sir.
All right.
Boom.
I went, okay. I put Noel in the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I put Savion Jones in the 5th from LSU. I put Powell-Ryland in the 4th. And I put our LSU kid Swinson in the 3rd. I got Swinson like as a 1-3-3.
As a high
maybe
30.
maybe a 1-3, 1-3-3, 1-3-4, right around there.
High mid 3rd. What about the right tackle from Florida, Crenshaw Dixon?
I did not like him at all.
Okay.
I put him down there with Blake Miller in the 6th.
I also have him with Blake Miller, but I got those guys in the 4th.
You got Blakeman in the 5th. You got them both in the 5th.
I got them both in the 4th. I got the 5th. I got Rivers and Wilson, and then Monahan is way down there in my extras.
Yeah. Crenshaw Dixon, Blake Miller are 6, and Monaheim is a 6 for me too.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Belton in the 5th. Rivers I got as a guard in the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, okay. Talk to me about Noel, then, the wide receiver from Iowa State.
Well, Bryan, about 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
They got him down as 200 pounds, but we'll never know until Combine gets here. Bryan,
It's like 196 or something like that, maybe.
Something like that. Bryan, I thought this kid could run around a little bit.
Yeah.
He has a mixture of some of the things I like. He does have vertical ability. He has the ability to play inside and outside. I think he's probably going to be a slot guy for the most part.
Yes, sir.
And Bryan, I was really impressed with his route running. You know, there's not a lot of great route runners in this class, and we look at some of the guys, like, you know, some of these Trey Harrises or some of these Higgins guys, and we go, oh, they don't run routes really well, but they big. Well, when I run into a route run, I like to give those guys points for being good route runners, because there's a lot of guys that aren't. I saw him make some fantastic throws downfield. So in my mind, there's a combination of making him a vertical type threat, because I seen him flat run past people, but quarterback just didn't see it. Quarterback just didn't get it there.
Right.
Quarterback will just straight up. I mean, but he'll run past. He'll just straight run past people. But then he also had the ability to get it done down bottom. I wouldn't call him like a super lateral quick guy or anything like that, but you can see some wiggle as a yak dude. But I think his game is north and south as a yak dude. But I think vertical match with some of that crossing route stuff, I think he's really, really good at that. I watched him versus Kansas, UCF, and Arizona State, Bryan. And I had him in the third round. I had him in the late third. Let me see. No, I had him in the high third. So look, this is why I got him high third, right?
Okay.
Because all the other receivers that we like, I feel like they're twos. So Besh, Williams, Tez Johnson for me, Ayo Minor, and Royals. I got those guys as third round picks. I got Noel after that. So there's Noel, Harris, and Restrepo from Miami.
Restrepo.
You never talk about Restrepo because you hate him. But after that, I got fourth round guys. I got Bryant, Higgins, Horton, and I got Bond down there in the fourth.
Yeah, I think this kid will never be more than a 3 for anybody. I think he's a slot only player.
Yep.
To be honest with you. I don't think he's got particularly ideal length, but he works with what he has. I think you're right about his ability to escape off the line. I mean, the majority of his big plays come off free access in routes or when he's put on the move. And, you know, you're right. He's got a feel for how to execute routes. I think he could track the ball. I think he does play with some concentration. He'll make his share of contested catches, but without that real length, I don't know. I think this kid has to play in a scheme where the ball comes out quick. We could talk about the routes down the field stuff and all that. I kind of feel like that he needs to get the ball quick and then operate out of that. But he does a good job of finding space, kind of that soft spots in the secondary. You know, I just feel like that they're going to have to like play him out of the slot and they're going to have to put him in motion, because I'm not so sure that against like press coverage that he's going to have some success. You know, now we'll see in the slot how that all worked out. I didn't see really long speed. I said I thought it was adequate at best, but he does make a share of receptions down the field. So I think that the thing about him being a little bit of a shorter guy, that's the problem I have with Restrepo too. You know, that smaller, but these guys do play. I worried about him being a slot only player is what my biggest concern was. And that's why I put him down in the 5th round. But, third, that would be rich for me. 4th, I could understand if somebody would fight for him in the 4th. Like I said, me personally, I kind of see a one-trick pony here with this kid.
Sure. Okay. Hey, we could log that as another quasi disagreement here. I don't think we're incredibly far away on him.
Being a 3rd and a 5 is pretty far for a player.
I don't know if we that far away, bro. I think maybe I'm liking him too much. Maybe you liking him a little too less. But I think his ability to run, and I do think there's some.
Oh, he can run routes, but like I say, I think he has to have free access.
Sure.
You know, I think there's some stuff. You know, like I say, they put him in motion, and then that kind of gets him. You know, and I worry about somebody walking up on him and kind of knocking him around a little bit.
I think that's what a lot of like football is in the league these days, Brian. Like, if you have a guy that can't get off the line of scrimmage, there's ways to get him off the line of scrimmage.
Not according to the Dallas Cowboys. There's not.
Well, that's fair. That's totally fair. That's fair. That's real talk. All right, so
you guys, we cover a team that for the last 5 years had really no creativity with anything that they did on the outside. So my hope is if they take this kid and he plays to the level that you think he's going to be, because if this guy, I think he'll never be more than a 3, but I could see if somebody were to put him in motion and let him move around and stuff where he would have some success. I could see that.
It'd be good in Miami or something. It'd be cool in Miami. But
somebody that uses creative route runners. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We shouldn't have a disagreement on Braden Swinson. Now,
no,
I'll allow you to disagree with me on Jaylin Noel. If we disagree on Braden Swinson, a fist fight might be coming, Brian.
Yeah,
there's some. Brian. The first thing I noticed, he gets off the football, Brian.
Yeah,
and he got power in them hands, man.
He does,
Brian. He got power in them hands. The last time I saw like a defensive end kind of around that size, it was 2 guys last year. It was Jared Verse and it was Chris Braswell. Remember them, Brian?
Yeah, Alabama and Florida State.
Where both those guys, they were stand-up type guys, but they had that initial power that you like.
I like what you're doing here.
Yep. I love his ability to play with length. I don't even know what his arm length is, but he has the ability to get bodies off of him with his long arm. He has enough pass rush moves to be effective. Brian, he was beating the devil out of South Carolina.
He really was. 3 sacks. He had 3 sacks that game.
Not only did he have those 3 sacks, but he was turning around and running and making plays upfield.
Yeah,
they'll drop. I don't like when they drop him back.
Don't. Yeah, and LSU will do stupid things like that with their players. Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
Let him move forward. Sometimes he'll put his hand in the dirt. Sometimes they'll rush him in B gap. Sometimes they'll stand him up and rush him from A. They'll move him all over the field and rush him, bro. They get creative with rushing him. I thought his pass rushing still had some room for improvement. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
I think he's winning with ass whoop and aggressive and intensity. Like he's winning with that. But if you teach him power and strong hands, Brian, but if you teach him how to parlay those powerful hands with a move, I can see even more pass rush upside to him. And you saw a lot of those flashes in South Carolina. But some of those other games, he'll turn into a run down the middle you got.
Alabama. Yeah.
He'll go back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you can consistently make him a not run down the middle you got, I think you got a dude. As far as run game goes, get out of here. He has that intensity to where he's running around and chasing the ball, whatever. I think he can stack and shed, and the team may not even ask him to stack and shed too much because he'll be an outside linebacker type dude, but he has the ability to do some 2-gap stuff if you want him to do it. Brian, I got him in the 3rd, and we got so many defensive ends that we keep stumbling upon. I got him over Sawyer, Birch, Stewart, and Roberts. I got him right behind – I got him right behind Sorrell from Texas. Sorrell.
Yeah, Sorrell. I man, this kid's a transfer from Oregon, and you're right. He plays really as a stand-up edge, and so do you ever see him really put his hand down on the ground? I mean, it's kind of one of those things I was kind of waiting to see that happen a lot, more consistency with that. And this guy might be better suited to be a stand-up edge in a 3-4 defense and just let him rush that way. But man, I think you nailed the kid. This kid's got versatility. He runs stunts. He drops in the coverage, which I absolutely hate. And they'll use him as a spy. You could see him because of his ability. He's a 6'5", 250-pound kid. that's playing like it's a spy technique. So that tells you a little bit what they think about him. The length, the closing burst are really good. He's going to see his share of double teams as a pass rusher. They know where he is on the field. Alabama, Ole Miss, they knew where this kid was rushing from, and they did a good job of kind of, he's fighting through that. They're fighting him. It's going back and forth. You're right about the hands. He's got a knack for winning with those hands. He can disengage quickly when rushing up the field. I think he's got speed, the power as a pass rusher. I think he can walk blockers back. When he gets his hands inside, he can walk them. And he doesn't quit on plays. You mentioned that as well. You'll see him chase the ball, the quarterback. He had a really nice effort sack in the Ole Miss game where they kept chipping him, and Jackson Dart was kind of trying to find some room, and Swinson just came flying around and was able to finish. So there were some times where he lost the ball fighting blockers, and because you could see he could be a little aggressive that way, which kind of puts him a little bit out of place. But man, he does his best to play assignments. Sometimes you see him, he'll guess wrong, and then it ends up being a pretty decent play. But I really do like the kid. I think that he is, and I'm, as an LSU alum, I've seen him play like every week, and I was super impressed with the way that he not only takes on blockers, the hands, the strength, but the pass rush ability and the ability to play hard all the time. This kid is. I feel like we're a little late to the party on this kid, but he should absolutely be in that third round mix of the guys, the Sorrells and guys like that you're talking about that you have in the third round.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to John Oney, man. John Oney told me to go and watch the kid, and that he, PFF didn't do him any favors by having to
They did not. Well, John, thank you. And I know John's probably watching this at some point in time, but thank you very much for throwing that name in the mix. And like I said, it just, so many times you just sit there and you're going to watch so many players, and then you don't watch a guy and it ends up being Puka Nacua, and then you're pissed off that you didn't watch that guy. But this is a kid I'm glad we got to.
PFF be letting us down, man. Bryan, tell us why you didn't like Brandon Crenshaw Dixon.
You know what? And this was a little bit of a, me and athletes that are tackles.
Sure.
And
that's exactly what it is. He's an athletic tackle. Yeah, he's a great athlete, but go ahead.
No, I don't think he's a great athlete. That's my problem with him.
Think he's a great athlete, Bryan? I thought he had some pretty damn good feet. I thought he was good on them outside zone blocks and them screen. Go ahead, Bryan.
I think this kid transferred from San Diego State, and I'm watching him against Miami. I'm watching him against Texas A&M, and I'm like, okay, like I'm sitting there like blocking those Texas A&M kids. I'm like going, okay, fine. He does have ideal body type for the position. I just don't think he moves that smoothly.
Yeah.
I think it takes him some time to get going. I think he's a push shove blocker. You know what I mean? It's like he's kind of behind and he's just going to shove a guy, and really instead of getting the hands inside and kind of driving him off the ball. I think he's best when he can wall off or he could shield his man from the ball. I don't see a lot of foot quickness, or I don't see a lot of ability to sustain blocks. I think he tends to be a one-shot blocker. I don't really see him hook up with his man like I was talking about. And then he's kind of in chase mode throughout the play. I am surprised he only allowed one sack this season, because there's plenty of snaps where you see he was late and then he really struggled to control his man. And I thought he got broken down, and I didn't feel like he could always recover that well. And for a guy his length, you just don't see rushers. You see rushers kind of break him down and get on his body. And so I didn't see the lateral agility, the ability to slide. Rushers with speed, I think, give him some problems. His pad level tends to get a little high, and that'll mess him up. But because he carries his hands really low, and then he tries to get him up inside. I know you're an offensive line expert. I just don't see a lot of violence to this player here. He's really too passive to my liking. So that's where that's kind of what I saw in the player.
To be fair, Bryan, I'm not the biggest fan of the athletic tackle.
Or the unathletic tackle or the athletic tackle? Which one are you going to talk about?
The athletic tackle. I thought if he had a calling card, you're right. He's not the most physical character in the world, and I do have issues with those guys. But I got him in the fourth round for a reason. I did think that he had some pretty decent movement ability. Like that was his calling card.
Sure.
That's what he was. Like he's a lengthy. It seemed like he had decent size. I'm not sure what his size is. and it seemed like he had some decent.
6'7", 313, I think is what I measured him at.
So it seemed like he had
Let me make sure that.
some decent size. So that's a good starting point. You're right, Bryan. He doesn't maintain blocks very well. He doesn't latch on really well. But I think he does a good job of getting there. Now, if he maintains the blocks well, he'll be a third or a second round pick. You know what I'm saying? But he does get there. I think he needs a gang of coaching. But based on what I can see from him right now, I like him a little more than Blake Miller. And I got Blake Miller in the fourth.
Oh no, Blake Miller's Blake Miller, to me, when Blake Miller gets taken, I'm probably going to write the name down and then start talking about who's got the next pick.
Yeah.
I'm not a Blake Miller fan.
Me neither.
think Blake Miller gets broken down. I would rather have this guy than Blake Miller myself. But I mean, I don't think well, maybe I didn't say it that way. I always feel like, I put this guy over Blake Miller.
Yeah.
I felt like with, I was trying to figure like, okay, is he up there with Belton? Who in the fourth round do you have him with? Just curious about that, if you could.
I only have him with Blake Miller. See, a lot of my guys are in the second round, and honestly,
so you have Blake Miller in the fourth?
I got Blake in the fourth. Yeah.
Okay.
So my second round guys are Mimbo, Campbell, Connerly, Williams, and maybe I need to put Grant and Ursery in the third. Maybe. My third round is Trapillo from Boston College, Emory Jones, and Mbo. And honestly, Bryan, maybe they're fourth round guys now. Just watching how the boards kind of move.
This is where I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a lot of these kids probably around too low, especially these offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, like this, and I get another guy. Don't like this, looks poor here. I kind of like, okay, he's down here, he's up here.
Yeah.
NFL scouts will tend to, and when they get into a room, they might have a situation like, you've got the West Coast. Okay, no, you've got the Southeast, and I've got the West Coast.
Yeah.
And you put a grade on this guy as a fourth round guy.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him, I'm like going, he's not that. Yeah. And so I have an opinion of him, but then group discussion will side with the scout who probably saw him at school.
Because I'm the Southeast guy, right?
You're the Southeast guy. I'm the guy watching USC, UCLA, I'm watching Washington, I'm watching all these guys. And so Will McClay would probably say, well, Voch is my Southeast guy. Voch has got him in the fourth. Bryan's got him in the sixth. Let's keep him in the fourth round.
Yeah.
And maybe there's two other scouts that are right there with you, like fourth round. And when you compare him to who he's with, I think when it comes to offensive linemen, I think you almost have to go around higher because people.
That's what I think too. I think that's who. Yeah.
They far look the warts. You and I are doing this and I'm trying to find the good. I see the warts.
Yeah.
With offensive linemen, there's a lot of warts. And so you're kind of like, I got him in the sixth. You got him in the fourth. You wouldn't say split it and put him in the fifth.
Right.
There's probably people that absolutely agree with you on this kid. And I think that the way that you've stacked your linemen, I think you've kind of stacked it to how the league is going to look at these kids.
Yeah, probably. So.
I feel like on these linemen, I might be around low. I might be around low because I'm saying this looks like a fourth to me. This looks like a third to me. This looks like a fifth to me. But you're saying, no way. The league is going to look at this guy with all the things with maybe slow feet, maybe low hands, maybe this, that, and the other. It's like that Ursery from Minnesota.
Sure.
That's a slow-footed guy.
Yeah.
But everybody's talking about this kid in the second round.
He probably should be. But you know what, though, Bryan? Running back is just like that because we put guys that we really like in the fourth round.
Yeah.
So we may have offensive line around early, but we'll have running back a little late, like 1 round late.
That's a good. I mean,
because Hampton and Johnson are really like first round type guys, but we put them in the second because that's what running backs are.
See, you're right, and that's the thing about it is when you're the area scout, you're pumping up your guys. I mean, I don't mean pumping them up trying to, but you're trying to put their best foot forward. This is the first time I'm watching your kid and I'm going, oh, I've got three guys. I got a guy at Oregon State. I got a guy at San Diego State. I got a guy better than, okay, fine. I'll lose this battle, but I'm about to win another one. I'm going to bring somebody up. And so, yeah, but I think you have them right on the offensive line where you're putting your offensive linemen. I'm gonna be real interested the night of the draft is when we're working together and as those come off. And when I color code that thing at the end, I'm gonna think, okay, Voch, this is where it went. It went third round. Whereas I was thinking fourth, fifth, probably third round, maybe a second round guy. I feel like I have a good handle. I shouldn't say this.
Oh, please.
Because there's a couple of these running backs that the whole thing, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to divert.
Oh, please, we got time.
Scatterbo, I don't know.
I don't
see. That's what I'm saying. I'm the same way. I'm the same thing, and I'm wondering: is he going to go? Is he a third round guy? Is he Is he? It's just kind of like, is the league going to look at him? I think these running backs first. It's only our guy from Boise.
Yeah.
But everybody else behind that, I mean, you could put them in order and you'd be like, that's a damn good list. Yeah. That's a damn good list, because I think all these guys are pretty similar in a lot of their abilities and stuff like that. And these offensive linemen, maybe they're not. Maybe that's why you see this guy in the fourth. I see this guy in the sixth because I don't have that feel for him. I'm seeing a guy when I'm watching, I'm watching that Baron from Miami, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then watching our A&M kids. Oh, okay. And I'm like, all right, I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I see what's going on. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to digress on that.
No, that's fantastic conversation.
I think you got these guys right. I think your board is going to reflect for the offensive linemen where the league sees them.
Yeah.
Even with warts, because it's a hard position to find. It's a hard position to find.
Let's hold on to what we got. I'll be around early and you can keep your round late, and let's just see what draft night ends up being.
Oh no, there's no question. When it happens, when he rolls off the board in the third, and we're both going to look at each other like, okay.
I'd be confused at that, but
that's where I'll just look up and I'll go, okay. Where'd you have him? I think we need to go to the next guy is what we need to do, that kind of thing.
Let's see.
Big guy, though. Guy's big.
Yeah, humongous. Antoine Powell-Ryland, Brian.
Okay. Now, this is, you got this one, or you want me to take this one?
I want you to go. But let me just say this before you go, Brian.
Yeah.
I think he's a sometimes guy. Because when he's on, I think he's tearing shit up when he's on.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I just don't know if he's always on. But please, go ahead. Tell me what you got about Antoine Powell-Ryland.
All right. This kid's at Virginia Tech, right? He's 6'3", he's 251. He's a transfer from Florida. So I'm thinking, okay, every time you look at Florida, they've got these edges, they've got defensive line. Yeah. So initially he was at Florida. So I'm thinking, okay, this kid recruited for a reason. I do think he's got an explosive first step. I think he can win the edge with his movement. I think he's got some bend. I think he's got the flex for the position. I see him work underneath blockers. I think he has a feel for how to dip and how to get small. And he does a nice job of kind of reducing that surface area so blockers can't get their hands on him. I do think he plays with a little bit of relentless style. I didn't see the loaf or the sometimes stuff with him. I saw a guy when watching the Rutgers, Vanderbilt, those kinds of games. I didn't see him give up on plays. I saw him chase. I saw him run down mobile quarterback. That kid from Vanderbilt can kind of get to the outside and run. I like the way he played the edge, but you're right. There's some snaps where I thought he lost the ball a little bit. I thought he was fooled a couple of times in the games when with the read option stuff. So maybe the football IQ not the highest on that, but the hands, the control, playing off blocks, shed, power. I mean, I think that you could see this guy play down with his hand. You could see him stand up. He can close some ground. I think he wins with some speed and with some balance. I didn't see him get knocked around a bunch.
Sure.
So I could see why, like I said in my notes, I could see why he started his career at Florida. He's that type of that SEC player.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be a 3-4 guy as well, or a stand-up linebacker. But he had 24 sacks in 2 seasons at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, 16 this year. Yep.
Yeah. So I think there's something to his ability.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear what you're going to try and tell me about him not playing every down.
No. So when I say sometimes, I don't mean like he's loafing, right?
Okay.
When I say sometimes right? Let's just say the Miami game.
Right.
He had the most beautiful sack versus the left tackle in that Miami game.
Yeah.
It was like a boom swipe, and he got he turned.
Oh no, he could dip and he could dip and get small. Yeah.
But up into and a little bit after that, it was a lot of running down the middle of you. That's what I mean by sometimes guy,
Oh, sure. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. You're not wrong there.
In the run game, I thought sometimes he was very aware.
Mm-hmm.
He makes these great effort plays sometimes where it'll be like a 7-second play, which is a long time in football, a 7-second play, and he's running it down and get. Other times, I felt like teams will run past him a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's
you know
fair.
I mean?
I saw it too. I agree with you on that.
So
yeah.
I don't know if he's a bad IQ guy, but it looks like he's thinking out there sometimes in the run game.
Yeah,
I think when he's reacting in the run
he
game,
might be a bad IQ guy. He might be a bad IQ guy.
I think when he's reacting in the run game, I think he's fantastic. But when he's thinking and reading, he looks a little lost. Sometimes they stand him up and just kind of let him walk around the middle a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting, but it works for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was able to get some pressures and some good rundown plays. But what I'm saying is when he's getting sacks, he looks like a phenomenal dude when he's getting sacks.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Other times, it looks like he's lacking technique. It looks like he's running down the middle of people. It looks like he doesn't have a plan. Right. And sometimes I don't know if he rushes. I don't know if he rushes with a plan, because when he wins, he's normally beating you off the line of scrimmage real bad.
That's that first step. It's the first step, small, and then go with him. Yeah.
So Bryan, we have him in the same round. I got him in the 4th, right? You do too?
Yeah.
So we got him in the same round, but I'm just speaking like we just presenting them different. Like you're presenting them with a little more positivity and up. And I'm presenting them more like, hey, if you can consistently get him to stay on and not thinking and run down the middle of people, I think you got a guy.
I read him like a 3rd round guy.
Right.
That's how I read him like a 3rd round guy. And I could see this is the kind of crap that, and I'm not meaning crap with what you're saying. This is the kind of crap that bothered me when I was with the Cowboys, and Jim Garrett, Jason's dad, would read a player. He would read a guy, and I'm like, oh, man, this is about to be a pretty good grade. Jim, what was your final grade on that? I gave him a 1.62.
Top of the 6.
Yeah.
So what you do all that reading for, all that smiling when you're reading?
Jim, I could have swore to the football gods this kid was going to be a 1.30 the way you read him, And so every time, Jim, what your rate? I gave him a 1.58. Sound like a 2nd round guy to me there, Jim.
Yeah. How you read them?
It's just sometimes you could read a player and it's like, well, you could probably argue with me to go, well, damn, Bryan, and maybe people listen. Well, damn, Bryan, you read him like he's a 3rd round player.
Sure.
Why? I mean, because these ends, these 3rd round ends, I'm like, well, not yet. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, how and who and why and down the middle, and do they chase? Do they play hard? It's kind of a kind of thing. But yeah, like I said, I think same round.
Yeah.
I think I read him different than I made him sound like Jim Garrett would. He probably should have been the third round guy.
Or maybe you have him as a 142 and I got him as a 148 or something. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment.
That's probably what it is. A 142 would. Well, so Brian, let's do this. Powell-Ryland or Jarquez Hunter, the running back from Auburn.
Wow. And literally on my board, and by the way, folks, when I get this thing to where it needs to be, I promise you, I will give it to Voch and you can post it. I just want to make sure I have everything where it needs. Hunter and Powell-Ryland are like my running backs, and my edges are like that.
Mm.
And the names are like that. Like you go across Hunter and you got Powell-Ryland in the next box like that. So very, very similar. I would take the Virginia Tech edge over the Auburn runner in that case.
Powell-Ryland or Eric Arroyo? Pardon me, Elijah Arroyo, the tight end from Miami.
Give me Powell-Ryland.
Powell-Ryland or Pat Bryant? Illinois.
God dang, everything's in the same round. Give me, because I'm looking. Give me Bryant there.
One more. Powell-Ryland or Deion Walker, Kentucky?
Walker, Kentucky.
I got a feeling Walker's gonna be like one of those first guys coming off the fourth round board if he does make it that far because of the whatever. But I kind of see what you're saying. So you are a high fourth round guy. I kind of got Riley.
I'm a 141, 142, somewhere right around there. And like Bryant, the wide receiver from Illinois would be like a 140.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
That's way at the top. I like that. Yeah. I like that, Brian. Okay. Let me say this about Savion Jones, Brian. And I ain't like his film too much, but let me tell you what he is though. That kid got traits.
He does have traits.
That kid
glad you said that.
He got size, length.
I'm glad you said that.
He moves around really well. I think he got. I think he actually had really good bend one time on accident. You know what I'm saying? He a pretty good looking dude.
Then he got taller and got stiffer.
He got real tall and he couldn't turn, Brian boy. Like, he'll run down the middle of people. He get a little lost.
Right now, you could tell everybody, I'm trying to get paid on Twitter. It's VOCH Lombardi, and it's BRYAN. You could just, when you said he's taller and he can't bend.
Yeah,
I'm like, he's got him. He's got him.
But he bent one time real good on accident, but he ain't doing no more.
He is a straight line player, man. My man is a straight line player. And and I love those LSU kids. You know I do. But man, it was really, 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 it was so evident, so clear to me, where how much he struggled. When he was coming off the ball, he just was struggling to kind of to be able to turn. And like I said, everything was really, really straight line with him. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't remember him being this straight line, but he's 6'5", he's 289. Maybe that's that size where he's not a bendy dude. Maybe he's like that. All these bendy guys, and then there's the non-bendy guys, but he is like the burst, I think, is good. I think he can hold his ground. I think he can stack the line of scrimmage. The length kind of creates some separation on blockers. I think he keeps the blockers off his frame, but it's all straight line then bend. He is a hard time, as you mentioned. He could not adjust the quarterback, and it's really, really hard. I think he had 4.5 sacks this year for my Tigers, but he's really, really raw as a pass rusher. I mean, he tries pass rush moves, but he's just so limited. Yeah. Effort is good. The stiffness is bad. The pad level will go up and down. He has moments where he'll miss tackles in space. he has to be square to the ball carrier to make a tackle. And I just think he's more of a power player than he is a finesse guy. And this size makes me think he can line up at several spots and kind of be successful. Effort to stay after plays is really good. He's just limited in the way he turns. And I think that's going to be the biggest problem for him.
Good looking player though. Good looking player, but
6'5", 289. Yeah. That number 35 kind of looks good on him. It does.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's like trying to park a big truck.
Yeah.
You keep going forward, then you back up, then you go forward, you back up. It just does it. There's nothing smooth about the way that
See, I got a truck with a lot of ass, so I understand what you're saying when you say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really hard.
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have one until they stole it from my place of business.
What?
Yeah, I stole my truck.
They
stole my truck from the studio at this place.
Y'all ain't got security?
Lady saw him do it. She did. She goes, "I'm sorry, I just didn't know." Okay.
She still work? She still work now?
I walk by her every day going to work.
Man,
I say good afternoon to her every day. Good afternoon, ma'am.
You better than me, Bryan, bro.
Every day. I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry when I walked outside. I used to give Eric Chiafalo rides home with me.
Yeah.
And we were in the same area. And we walked outside and I'm like, "Eric, my truck's gone." He's like, "You parked it right here." And they found the engine like a couple months later. The engine, there was a big storeroom that had a bunch of these truck engines. They took it out. My engine, they found it. And the reason they identified it was because what was the VIN on the engine and stuff. So that's why the guy called me from the police and goes, "Yeah, we found your truck, but it had the engine only. The engine was out. We couldn't find everything else." So
you want to borrow this?
God, I was mad.
I got something else on my table. I just can't put it in front of the camera.
I was so mad. I mean, I don't mean to waste people's times here, but gosh, I miss my truck so much. God, I miss my truck. I really do. I hate that.
Hey, man, me, you, and Faisal gonna get you back in the game, man.
Faisal's a good man. He sympathized with me a little bit, so here we are.
I see where I got you. Sympathize with me too, but we'll get there.
Yeah, he sympathized with you and I. We'll be fine.
Through hard work and brand building, there's gonna be some sympathy.
Absolutely,
Bryan. I appreciate working with you, man. It's always fantastic.
Are you leaving me? Are you leaving me because my take on a Florida tackle? Are you leaving me right now? What are we doing?
Yes, it's Friday. I got stuff to do. But Bryan, what I do have is our list for next week. I'm gonna text it to you.
Please do.
I'm gonna text it to you. And Bryan, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 linebackers on it, Bryan Broaddus. We're gonna figure this position out.
Yeah, we need to do that. And let me ask you this, my friend. Do we need to think about doing anything for some free agency stuff when that stuff rolls around?
I don't know nothing about free agents, but I mean, we could do it. We could touch on it. One of these Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, I wonder if we need to sit down and maybe study a couple guys and be able to talk about a couple when this thing gets close. I don't know. I'm worried about this draft. I am worried about the draft.
Draft is where I'm prioritizing. Like, think about free agency. Is once we get the guy, I can go watch him then. You know what I'm saying?
I've always been if we sign the guy, I'll watch him and give you a report. I agree. I didn't know if you wanted to dabble in that a little bit, but hey, I'll tell you what, I'll keep watching 6th-round offensive tackles from Florida.
Well, we about to watch some damn 6th-round linebackers because they weighed down on everybody's list. Also too, Dane Brugler added some guys in his top 100 that we haven't seen yet. So,
he did. Yeah, he did. He sure did. Is there a running back from Oregon?
Jordan James is number 4 on the list.
The other day when we interviewed Dane yesterday, he swore by this kid. He said this kid might be one of the best running backs in the draft. I'm like, here we are 3 months into working on the draft, and I'm now seeing the best running back in the draft.
Monday we'll talk about it, Bryan. Monday, these guys just hold on to these players and they just roll them out for us in February and March. But Monday we will break that player down. And somebody said, Voch, when you and Bryan get your list, can you put it out to us so that we can follow along? Sure, I will do that.
tweeted it one time. I'll redo it. I'll make sure of that.
We will at Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI or BRYN Broaddus. We will tweet the list so you guys can follow along all week. We got 12 players this week. Last week we had 9. We got 12 this week. So we're gonna go 4 guys Monday, 4 guys Wednesday, and 4 guys Friday. And it'll be a little party. All right. Bryan Broaddus, appreciate you, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I will be in Surprise, Arizona baseball in it.
Oh, so
I wish I was at
So do you?
No. We keep drafting. We keep drafting. No. At night, I got my work. I got my workstation, got my mic, gonna have my camera, gonna have my computer. Hopefully we'll have really good internet, but we are going to keep drafting.
Okay.
We'll keep drafting. Now, Friday might be a different story. I'm sorry. Friday might be a different story because I'm traveling home.
Okay. So we'll do it Thursday or something. Yeah.
So maybe we could do a show Friday morning. How about that? And
that works.
Would that be cool?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
That works for me too. All right. Good deal.
Till next time, y'all. We love y'all 2 pieces. Florida tackles. Crown.
Slow-footed dudes. Don't like them.
Goodbye.